Okay, so this is Edward talking on Edward StarCraft, JustinTV.com/Edward StarCraft. I'm joined here by Haste, by Infected Mr. T, and one of the players here, Rangirl. Rangirl is going to be the Protoss player in this Terran versus Protoss matchup. He's going to be telling us about his decision making in this game on the map Metropolis. Between Rangirl, the Protoss player, and Hammer, the Terran player. So we're not going to be revealing any information to Rangirl in this stream, and he's just going to talk to us about how he's playing this game, what he sees when he's scouting in his battles, why he decides to attack or whatnot, what he decides to tech to.
So I'm just gonna play one game. Hopefully I can school you guys a little bit on some Protoss versus Terran, but I just wanted to beat this guy because this guy is a huge faggot and he sucks. So we're gonna defeat him easily. If I have one prediction this game, I'm gonna predict probably Blue Flame Hellions. You know, this guy is capable of many builds. We've seen the Blue Flame Hellion Rush, the Blue Flame Hellion Drop, the Reaper into Blue Flame Hellion, the Blue Flame Hellion Timing Push, Blue Flame Hellion run around, Proxy Blue Flame Hellions. So I mean, he's capable of a lot of different things. So I gotta really be careful with what build I decide to do. So my game plan here is to not let Blue Flame Hellions get into my mineral line, and he probably won't be macroing, and I can just kill him with like one Colossus. But see, I'm worried because this guy is known for watching the stream when he plays King of the Hill. He actually busted me one time when I lifted to the gold in a TVT and he SCV rushed the gold minerals, which I would only attribute to him cheating. So I'm not going to reveal anything, although I guess it would be fair if I did reveal stuff because I know he's going Blue Flame Hellions because he's an idiot. But I'm kind of worried. I scouted the close position base. I wanted him to be close positions because then I can kill him. I'm not going to be too happy if we're close air because then we're going to be seeing a lot of medevacs and a lot of Blue Flame Hellions. And a lot of times...
So how sure are you that he's going Blue Flame Hellion?
Well, he's listening to the stream right now. So I guess really I'm not worried about him doing anything else because he doesn't know how. So if he does do a build that is a Blue Flame Hellions, it's either going to be something ridiculous, like he has 4 barracks in the gold minerals, or just something bad and he's going to die. So we're gonna get to see in his base right now, and he walled off, which is indicative of probably Blue Flame Hellions, and he has a tech lab that he's probably going to switch to the factory that he built right next to his ramp, and probably produce some sort of Blue Flame Hellions from that factory. And now normally against good aggressive Terrans, you want to build a Zealot first while your core's building because, you know, you're worried about early Marauder aggression. Zealots are really good at taking Marauder hits, but this guy can't micro for shit, and Zealots aren't good against Blue Flame Hellions, so I'm not going to go for the early Zealot. I'm just going to try and get my Stalker out quickly. And you want to hide your tech. You want to wait for the SCV to die before you put anything down. And we see a Reaper, and this is indicative of the Blue Flame Hellion build. He always decides to build a Reaper. Now see him strategically bring my probe down to 1 hit, but not kill it. Just in case, you know, he decides to go for Blue Flame Hellions later. He'll be able to kill that probe with 1 hit. Now he did shoot my Stalker once with the Reaper, so it will have lower shields than normal. So, you know, he might be able to kill it with like 8 Blue Flame Hellions now instead of 9. So, you know, I'm not too worried. I'm probably going to have a probe sitting on the watchtower, just in case he decides to pull all of his SCVs and attack me with some sort of Blue Flame Hellion push. And he just scanned my vents. I'm not sure why. Probably scouted. Now, we see some Hellions. Pretty surprising here. Not something I would have predicted coming from this guy. But now the problem is that Hellions cannot get in the base when you have units that are blocking them. So those Hellions are going to be useless. And now I have to imagine his transition is going to be a medevac to somehow get the Blue Flame Hellions in my base because he wasn't able to do it. He very well could possibly go Banshees. I think he is very incapable, but he still may do it. And he's putting down a starport. Now, see, notice he didn't have this backup plan. He wasn't already building the starport. He just now realized that he wasn't able to get Blue Flame Hellions in my base, and he thought, well, how am I going to get the Blue Flame Hellions in his base? And so he built the starport, and he's probably going to build a medevac out of it. And, you know, I have to imagine being produced right now as a medevac. It could very well be a Viking, but I do not have any air units, so I'm not too worried about a Viking. I see an idle SCV, so he's building a command center. So now he's going to expand. It may increase his output. It may allow him to produce more Blue Flame Hellions. Because I know this guy's going to go for a mech-based army, I'm just going to opt for a lot of Immortals. And I'm probably just going to try and bust his expansion because this base is really hard to defend with pure tanks. And I have to imagine that the Blue Flame Hellions are coming. So now I'm going to put my entire army in my mineral line, waiting for the Blue Flames. I'm going to spread them out. Like this, okay. So now we're good.
That's a very nice spread there.
Thanks. A lot of guys have been going Blue Flame Hellions to me on ladder, so I've actually had a bit of experience. Oh no, a medevac. I wonder what is in the medevac. It is Blue Flame Hellions. What a surprise. I was not expecting that. I should have had a Phoenix to chase the medevac down.
I guess you'll have to incorporate that in the future here.
Right. Now, his standard transition is probably going to be to forget that he has a medevac and just leave it in the top right of the map, and then 4 minutes later be like, oh sweet, Blue Flame Hellions, and try and drop my main again. So I'm going to leave these two stalkers here. And I'm just going to add some more gates and just go with like a robo-based army with mostly Immortals and some gateway units. Now, the thing with Immortals
I think Siege Tanks need a Blue Flame upgrade, actually.
Well, see, that's what Marines? I was wondering about his last game. See, now, the problem with his transition is Siege Tanks don't have a Blue Flame upgrade. So, well, I don't really know why, but he's just an idiot, is what I'm trying to get from there, but...
I actually have a serious question now.
Okay.
It's that you're still chrono boosting out probes right now. And I'm not going to reveal your harvester count, but you definitely have a good number of probes right here. Just curious as to, was it because you were getting your second expansion up, you decided to start chrono boost, or have you...
Number one, you want to have a lot of probes to move to your expansion. Another big reason there probably is just because I'm a Terran player mostly, and so I'm used to just having mules and always using them on economy. So that's kind of like, I'm used to like knowing when to have my upgrades on time and being prepared for stuff. So I don't often like find myself chrono boosting out anything unless it's like Immortals. Like you see, I'm like using my chronos on my robo, but that's about it.
Gotcha. So it's more like, hey, I don't have mules, so I'll just target my command center instead.
Right. And he's gonna land. I think I maybe could have gotten charged for this push, but I have a ton of Immortals. And the thing with Siege Tanks versus Protoss is you need to be mixing in a healthy number of bio units in order to take fire from them, because tanks don't really do that well on their own, especially because of the nerf to light units. And I'm just gonna like run around with my stuff and try and bust him here before his bunker comes into play. I made a mistake. I should have pre-built a pylon here, so I could be warping in zealots. But I'm just gonna have to go with the army that I have here. And this is what I'm talking about, this Nat being hard to defend. And see, I can just like hit all of this shit right here without worrying about the tank fire. And then when he backs up, I can just like run all my shit in and kill his tanks.
So you said you should have gotten charge. I don't notice you have any zealots though.
Well, right, zealots are gonna be really bad against anything unless they have charge. If I would have gotten charge, I would have had like a more zealot-based army. But because I didn't have charge, I didn't go for it. And what a surprise, there are Blue Flame Hellions in my main approximately 4 minutes from when he dropped my original time, and the two stalkers that are still sitting there dealt with it. And I'm going to get Blink, I guess, because it's kind of fun. I'm just going to rally Immortals. He's pulling SCVs, which really isn't good because I have to imagine that his worker count is not that good. And I'm just going to target SCVs to hurt his economy, because maybe he'll die faster. There's still... Why is there a Viper in that river? Oh well. And, so yeah, I'm going to send my Immortal in first. Oh, never mind. But I attempted to send my Immortal in first. It's good to try and keep the aggro of the SCVs with the Stalkers, because if the SCVs aren't attacking your Immortal, then your Immortal basically never dies to tanks. And, you know, there's a definite possibility he has a base city somewhere, but even if he is getting additional resources, he probably isn't not going to get enough to use them, so I'm not too worried about it. See, there's Blink. Blink is pretty fun.
We're seeing more Blue Flame Hellions to deal with your Stalkers as well.
Right, well, Blue Flame Hellions is actually, believe it or not, the counter to every unit. So if you just keep making more and more Blue Flame Hellions...
It's a new Mass Marine strategy, right?
Right.
Hey, they only cost minerals as well, so why not?
Yeah, he did get Blue Flame Hellions into my mineral line, but I don't think he has any units in his main. I'm just gonna go kill him again.
Well, just curious, you're mostly a Terran player, so how often do you use Blue Flame Hellions?
I started opening Blue Flame Hellions against Zerg a lot. I like them because they get map control. Terran has no unit that's cost efficient in small skirmishes against Zerglings, besides Blue Flame Hellions. But, so I use them versus Zerg. Every once in a while I'll use them versus Protoss. If a guy's going really heavy, like Charge Lot Storm, you can mix them in like really late game when you have the gas for it. But other than that, I don't really use Blue Flames that much. Just because if I have a factory that's producing units, your factory time is a lot more valuable. Like tanks and Thors are really important, and you want to have as many of them as possible. So you don't usually just have like factories sitting around that can just build units like Hellions.